Hi, this is Reddit Confessions channel. The restaurant buzzed with distant sounds, laughter, clinking glasses, and the soft hum of background chatter, but for me, it was all muffled, as if I were underwater. Inside, my mind was a storm, and in front of me, Lavra stood with her arms crossed, her lips tight. Her eyes held something I couldn't quite place. Was it defiance? Was it victory? Maybe both. "Stay and listen, or walk away," she said, as if it were a simple decision. As if there was a choice where I didn't lose. I felt the eyes of the room on me, silent, waiting. A few patrons glanced over, curiosity etched on their faces, while others turned away, embarrassed by the personal moment unfolding in front of them. But I could hardly care. For a decade, I thought I knew Lavra. 9 years of marriage solid, even if not perfect. We weren't the couple who were madly in love every second, but we were good together. I worked hard in software development, late nights for a good paycheck. She worked in marketing for a trendy brand, always outgoing, the center of attention wherever she went. I admired that about her until I didn't. 6 months ago, I started noticing things. Lavra was going out more, work dinners, networking events, and late happy hours. At first, I thought it was nothing, just her trying to keep up with her job. But then the changes became impossible to ignore. She smelled different, her phone was always in her hands, and she always turned it away from me. Something felt off, but I ignored it, telling myself I was just being paranoid. Then, 2 weeks ago, it happened. The message. I found it on her phone, sitting casually on the kitchen counter last night. Was amazing. "I can't stop thinking about you." I was frozen. The hand that reached for her phone was shaking when she walked in, snatched it from my grasp, and snapped, "You're going through my phone now." I didn't respond, just stared at her, waiting for the explanation that never came. She didn't deny it. She didn't try to explain. Instead, she turned the situation on me, twisting my own insecurities back at me. 2 weeks of silence followed. I was trying to gather proof, trying to be sure of what I already knew in my gut. Tonight, when she invited me to dinner, something felt off. I almost didn't go, but I did. And now, standing in front of her in the restaurant, I was faced with her ultimatum. Stay and listen or walk away. My jaw tightened. I had no intention of staying. I grabbed my wallet, dropped a few bills on the table, and without another word, walked out. I didn't look back. The night air hit me like a shock to the system, cold and sharp. I walked to my car, my mind a battlefield. What was I, more heartbroken, or just exhausted? I got into the car, gripping the steering wheel, but the moment I pulled out, I found myself driving aimlessly, letting my thoughts run wild. There was no going back. The house, where I'd invested years, didn't even feel like mine anymore. It had become a prison, tainted by secrets I had ignored for far too long. At some point, I stopped at a gas station. I wasn't sure why, but I needed a moment to breathe. I turned off the engine, leaned back against the headrest, and stared at the ceiling. How did I let it get this far? I had seen every red flag, every late night, every guarded phone screen. I had ignored them all. For months, I convinced myself I was imagining things. But tonight, the truth had hit me. As I sat there, the phone buzzed in my pocket. Lavra. I almost didn't check it, but something inside me pushed me to see what she had to say. The first message read, "Dramatic much. You could have at least had a conversation instead of storming out like a child." I wanted to delete the messages, to ignore her, but I couldn't help myself. I opened them. "Everett, pick up the damn phone. You think you can just disappear? If you leave, you'll regret this." I couldn't help it. Her words, the way she was trying to manipulate me, it made me angrier than I expected. But it also made me realize something. She wasn't sorry for losing me. She was afraid of losing control. I was the one who had been held captive for years by her manipulation, and now she was panicking because she didn't have me to control anymore. I tossed my phone onto the passenger seat and drove off. I had made my choice. This was it. The drive felt endless, but I knew what I needed to do. The house wasn't mine anymore. Lavra wasn't mine anymore. And with every passing mile, the weight on my chest lightened. I arrived at a small 24-hour diner. It was empty except for a few scattered patrons. The warm light inside felt like the calm I desperately needed. A place with no history, no baggage. Just me. I sat down, ordered coffee, and started to think about the next step in my life. I wasn't going to let Lavra pull me back into her web. This time, I was done. My phone buzzed again. Another message from her. Lavra, are you actually staying in a motel? This is pathetic. I didn't care. It didn't matter anymore. A few hours later, I called my lawyer. I was done. I had spent years trying to be the good husband. But now I had to be something else. Stronger. In control of my own life. The divorce wasn't easy, but it was necessary. She tried everything, guilt-tripping, pretending to be hurt. But I didn't engage. She couldn't manipulate me anymore. Months later, everything had changed. The house was gone. My life had started over. And for the first time in a long time, I felt free. Lavra texted me one last time. I hope you're happy. I stared at the message for a long time before I deleted it. She wasn't the one I needed to worry about anymore. I had moved on. And for the first time, I was free.